Hey everyone, so with this video I'm starting a series of videos that I will try to do as long as possible, and the idea behind them is really simple. So what I want to do is to analyze the market in a market research fashion as you want, but also it's a usual outlook in the beginning of the week, and then mark up the bias, possible zones, and so on. And then in the end of the week, I want to analyze what I did before the week and what entry possibilities were available, and that's all. So I don't want to make it like signal like or something like that. I'm more I want to make it in a more market research fashion, when you just see the market and then come back and see what happened before. So for this week, I want to have Euro USD and GBP USD quickly because it's almost the same, and then USD GPY and AUD JPY. So let's start with Euro USD first. And what we have here is interesting situation on yearly, because what we have is a usual structure, usual bullish structure with some breaks, and then deep pullback into the very last unmitigated zones on the yearly. So we have some bullishness from yearly, and that's all. And we also have some representations of a chain of supply and demand here, mitigation, and already started a reaction here. So this is just something to keep in mind. From monthly, we don't have too much information, but overall, what we can say from monthly is that it is right now, if we look at this portion of price action, in a usual bearish trend. So we have break to the downside, break to the downside, and break to the downside with this local redistribution here. So one break to the upside and then break to the downside. What's interesting is if we can continue to the upside. So first of all, of course, if we are starting this prolonged move to the upside, then these highs are our targets. However, of course, there are many possibilities how the price can go. It can go like this and then move up. It can go like this, make one more move to the deeper zone and then move up. So it can have some accumulation, but again, this is monthly chart, and we are just keeping in mind that yes, it is bearish, but right now is clearly in a pullback phase. So again, some bullishness is present. On weekly, we had a really bearish market with these consecutive shifts of structure, but recently we shifted bullish here, showed a reaction from this unmitigated zone, and then started a bullish move, mitigated here, and now clearly broke to the upside again. And weekly is pretty clear on what it has to tell us. So first of all, it tells us that during so almost a year, the market so during almost a year, this market was bullish. Right now, it does not have any models in terms of accumulation, reaccumulation. It just has this usual bullish structure, and that's all. We have we don't have actually a break here. We have it on daily probably, but on weekly it's just, let's say, it's absorption or liquidity grab. But with this recent bullish break, it makes things really bullish. And what zones do we have on weekly on Euro USD? So first, and what other situation? What else can we take from weekly? So first of all, we are no longer right after the break kind of situation. Yeah, we have this break, and we are not longer here, because if you have a break that is extended over some high, then maybe you can consider to stay out a bit, because when you have a break, usual situation will be some kind of a stoppage and then break again, or a more classic pullback to deeper zone, and then a move from there. So and this is exactly what we have now. So we already made a pullback. So now, based on weekly, I would not short anything here. I will wait for a reaction to the upside. And do we have any kind of a zone? Yes, we do. We have this last down move that is being mitigated right now. And what's interesting about this zone is that this zone mitigated this previous zone. So we have some fractal shifts here, and possibly what we will see on daily when we will go lower is something like this. And now let's, so basically this is weekly. Much more bullish than bearish. Of course, we realize that we are still a long way to go to confirm bullishness on monthly, and we can go to the bearish side on weekly, but real bearishness will be confirmed after this break. So right now weekly is pretty bullish, and this is my main bias. Of course, you can have secondary bias and different scenarios in your head, but it's also useful to have main bias presented. Daily is was bearish, shifted to the bullish side, and it's interesting how it shifted. Yeah, it didn't shift like in one move here, but it went like down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and then up. So at this point, we had confirmed accumulation, confirmed accumulation. Why? Because accumulation is when you have a market that is moving up and down with breaks of structure to the both sides, and then at some point it makes a confident break to the upside. So at this point you can say, okay, this is looking like accumulation, and then you are trying to prove it from different sides, from different time frames, and so on. And in this case, because of that higher time frame zone, we could start to look for some bullishness, then some not clear period, then reaccumulation, internal shifts, bullish break, and then one more possible reaccumulation here, which is now confirmed. So right now daily is extremely clear and bullish. The last zones here, the last possible zones like this and this refined hidden zone. So actually I was talking about this hidden zone, but this is a good refinement. So we have potential to move to the downside still. But overall, until this is holding, this market is really bullish. But it does not mean that you need to go and buy right away, because there is still a potential that the market will continue its pullback phase, and most likely it will undergo something like this here. So most likely it will not touch and go right away. It will touch, maybe make some move to the upside, some move to the downside, and then move to the upside, and these places are much better to go and take this high. So this is something to keep in mind. Any kind of bullish entry here, so almost any kind of bullish entry here, will be considered as early attempts and like lower quality, you know. By the way, quick fundamental check. So we had during previous month or two, we had pretty hawkish bias fundamentally both for Euro and USD, but now both central banks, of Europe and United States, they are possibly taking a pause in their rate hikes. And now, for example, they will look at economical data. So if economical data is like showing more inflation, more development in economics, it will mean that they will possibly try to rise the rates even higher. Yeah, so we need to have bad data so that the inflation is slowing down, the economics is slowing down, and actually this is what they want to do with their currencies. with their economics, and that's why they are rising these interest rates. And by the way, if we will have like bad data for dollar and good data for euro, then it will mean that possibly Europe will still continue to rise their interest rates, and in this case it will give much more strength to euro. If we will have like mixed data, then we can have a prolonged ranges. But again, so right now we don't have like too clear prerogative for one of the pairs, so we can look for local data releases and technical analysis. Yeah, but so it's not a situation when we have like Euro GPY or AUD GPY when Japan has negative interest rates and Euro has like 5 or how much, like 4.5, and Australia also is hawkish on their interest rate policies. So yeah, it's not so obvious from this standpoint. And by the way, sorry if I confused anyone, I'm still learning fundamentals myself, but just trying to incorporate them a bit into my analysis. So pretty bullish on daily. However, as you can see on 1 hour, if we look at pullback phase, it's obviously it is not over basically. Yeah, and even more, it's obviously bearish. So what we have here is a possible distribution here, which then became confirmed, then possible redistribution, which is now confirmed. So if we look at this portion of price action, we don't have any bullishness here. So of course you can be someone who will act from this internal structure and try to long for it. I will probably and by the way, it could be a first long entry, but for me it would be much better to see the market move lower and then shift to the upside somewhere here, or better one more move and then confident shift to the upside. And then in this stage of price action development, I will be much more confident on bullishness. Right now bullish entries will be not so confident for me. So my plan for Euro USD for the next week is first of all to see some bearishness, so break these lows. It seems like the price wants to go and mitigate these deeper zones, and then wait for shifts to the upside and look for entries somewhere here, so something like this. If the price, so I'm almost sure that the price will mitigate here at least, so I don't think that it will just go up. But if it will, because 15 minutes now is showing some bullishness, as you can see, but again, even on 15 minutes it seems like the price will want to stay some time here, and then maybe Tuesday, Thursday it will push higher. So this is first bullish scenario, and second bullish scenario would be would be active somewhere from here. So if we push higher on 15 minutes, ideally above this high, okay, because even if we push higher, this is a great zone to react and push lower to the downside. So again, specifically this portion of price action is stopping me from immediate longs, so I want to see either a breakdown and then a break up, or a break up from here, and then I will be long. Shorts are also possible, but I will not include them in this. So this is just a secondary bias, you know. If you want, these are really aggressive entries to wait for reaction from here, maybe on 5 minutes, on 1 minute, to bring the price lower. But I would not recommend to do it, because we have underlying bullishness from 4 hours, from daily, and so on and so on. So this market is pretty bullish. So again, not including shorts into this outlook. And now let's quickly look at GBP USD, and as you can see, it's basically the same. Daily is the same, 4 hours is the same, 15 minutes is the same, so same bias, so almost the same. As you can see, it's a bit more bullish. We have this break, but again, I still want to see either a break of this or break of this to the downside and then to the upside. Overall bullish for GBPUSD. And now USD JPY. So I will make a short pause here. Actually, you know, let's just do Euro USD and AUD JPY for this week. So AUD JPY. Again, fundamentally, as I said before, we have negative interest rates in Japan, positive in Australia, and we have some hints and rumors that Australia can go even higher during this year. So we have some fundamentals for AUD. However, on the previous week we had some rumors that JPY can change their policy a little bit and it can bring a lot of strength to JPY, so we should keep an eye on that. But technically on the monthly, I will just ignore this part and we will look at this part, and this is a representation of usual bullish structure, and that's all. What's interesting about it, so where we are in this range, so we have this impulse, this range, are we after the break, are we after the pullback and mitigation? Yes, so we broke, we mitigated the zone, and now we are showing a reaction, showing internal structure shifts, so again bullish signs, and our primary target is here on the monthly, so bullish for the monthly. Then on weekly, again, like really bullish market with possible reaccumulation, which is now with this break confirmed. And we didn't only break, we already created a pullback and mitigated the last unmitigated zone. So as you can see, everything is mitigating each other here, and then at last breaks with imbalance, and now we have this last zone which is mitigated and showing a reaction. On daily we as well have this zone from this bullish break which is mitigated and showing a reaction, so bullish daily. 4 hours right now, a pullback, right now it's not that bullish as it could be, as it will probably be after one more shift to the downside and probably break to the upside. So 4 hours again, not so bullish. So I would like to see at least maybe some internal structure shifts, because this is relatively overextended range and we can see a development of clear internal structure, but right now based on 4 hours it's pretty bearish. 1 hour is pretty bearish as well, so only 30 minutes is showing something, but yeah. So what I have here on AUD JPY, based on higher time frames, I want to see it overall moving bullish. However, it's still pretty early and we can see more accumulation. So first scenario, I would like to have this first reaction. So this is first reaction from the zone. It would be great to see it liquidated and then move to the upside to enter here. Or if market wants, it could do something like this and then break to the upside. So first bullish scenario is liquidation of this low and then move to the upside, enter somewhere here. Second scenario is liquidation of this, reaction to this zone, clear break to the upside, and then following to the upside. I don't want to follow any shorts because we already mitigated deep zone and now the probability for bullishness is much bigger. Okay, so I don't want to trade from here, I don't want to trade into this zone, because even if this move will happen, it can be like really choppy. And yeah, so overall bullish. And this is it for this week. Hope you enjoyed it. Send me your questions, send me your comments, send me your ideas, and I will recap this overview in the next week. So bye.